listening to Goof On Radio with Rich Giordano.
My personal belief is that there is very compelling evidence that we may not be alone.
There has been and is an existing presence, an ET presence. It's not going to make a difference. It's not going to change reality.
I believe, as do the other folks that were on the flight, that when we visually saw it, that it was something not from this world.
Goof On Radio.
You were either in or you were either out, brother.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
Goof On Radio with Rich Giordano.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
Goof On Radio.
Remain seated, please. Permanecer sentados, por favor.
You're listening to Goof On Radio with Rich Giordano.
All right. Welcome to Goof On, everybody. I'm your host, Rich Giordano. We are live. It is Wednesday, March 22nd, 2023. How are we? Good. Feels like we were just here 20 minutes ago. Right? Doesn't it? I feel like we didn't even leave last night. We're just continuing where we were from a night ago, but we're not. It is the next day. It is hump day. Those 9-to-5ers out. Is it 9-to-5ers today? Isn't it Wednesday? Is it Wednesday? It is Wednesday. Yikes. Still feeling the effects of the cocoa, believe it or not. I think today I'm at 93.4%. Almost to 100. I've gained 5 pounds already. I've gained 5 pounds back in 2 days. Like I said, I would gain 4. Gained 5. It's actually working. Being healthy and taking your pills when you're supposed to. But I'm glad. I'm glad things are turning around. Tonight we got a fun-filled, packed show. Last night's ending to the show, if I may, I wound up having a situation that came up during the show, which turned into me going off on a little rant about messaging during the show, and last night Atlantis is found was messaging me twice within 15-20 minutes to don't forget to check that email, during the show. Like, and I, nicely said I can't right now, but and then he took it the wrong way and said I was being very mean and disrespectful, which I wasn't. I went back and played the show during the show last night and showed that I was exceptionally nice. Like, not even close to being mean at all. And I went off last night, and I shouldn't have. And I want to apologize for that outburst. Even though I was right to be upset, I should have done it a little differently. But this is me growing. This is me trying to learn how to be a better podcaster and not yell. But you know what? Isn't that the reason why you watch Goof On? Because I don't put the filter on. I keep it off because I want you to see raw emotion. I want you to see the human element when it comes to being on a podcast, a stream. I don't like fakeness, man. I don't like people that hold their feelings in because their advertisers won't like it. There's a couple of shows out there. I'm not going to name them, but they have advertisers. And they can't say certain things or their advertisers will drop them. I don't ever want to be in that position here on Goof On. So the fact that I did yell and went off last night is normal for Goof On. But I still feel bad it happened, and some people take it to heart, and they're like, oh my God, I was so worried for you. And, you were so mad that you shouldn't get that mad. People are emailing me. I'm like, you don't understand. I'm under control. I know what I'm doing. I got it. Even though I know it's wrong, my emotions are my emotions. I never thought in my life you should hold your emotions back if you have a place to vent and to tell people you're right. It's not about right or wrong. It's just about my actions. That's all that's about. And I'm trying to be better, but if I do get better, then you won't see, you won't have that kind of drama or excitement or controversy. I think it's okay, but I still like to apologize to Atlantis is Found anyway, because I should have done nothing and just emailed him after the show behind the scenes. But what fun would that have been? It happened during the show. That's why it happened. So with that being said, I'm sorry, but I'm not. I'm sorry, but I'm not. I just wish it was a little different. That's all. All right. I see Ben, the Yorkshire Goofonian, throwing down his membership again. Thank you for renewing. I like that picture right there. You look like Patty, the boxer, the MMA fighter. Patty, what's his last name? Patty LeBaron? Patty LeMons? I don't know. Patty the Hattie. I can't remember. I can't believe I can't remember that guy's name. Patty Gimlin? Patty Gimlin? Is that it? Patty Gimlin? Thank you very much, Ben, the Yorkshire Goofonian, and Jeanette Angel with the 10 pound, 10 quid super dono. It's a dono, a donation with no message, no sticker. It's just pure love. Thank you for that, Jeanette Angel. I don't know if I'm saying your name right or wrong. It looks right. But thank you very much for the $10, continuing supporter of Goof On. Thank you. And let's do a little bit of roll call. Tonight, we are going to talk about why it is. You can't just say it and make it real. You can't. That's exactly what Jeremy Corbell's doing. I thought for sure, I was just looked underneath, as you saw. The reason I did that, I'll tell you, it's just a strange thing that's happened here before. I just never talk about it. I go to move my feet, like sometimes my feet are extended out, and I move them in, I have them out. Now I'm moving them in. As I moved them in, it felt like I was dragging a cord. I couldn't move it was hard to move, and that might happen. There might be an extension cord. So I looked, nothing. Now I tell you that because over the 1.5 to 2 years I've been here at Florida, this location, it has been a continual thing underneath this desk. I know that sounds kind of kinky, but it's not. It's like there's a dog under me, like a big dog. And when I go to move my feet, it's like he was laying there, in between the chair and my feet. And that's what I imagine, that sometimes I'll be in here and it just smells like a wet dog. I know you're like, gross. Well, it's not. I mean, the lady who lived here before had a big dog, but this was all new. We put all new stuff in here so to get rid of anything that was there. It doesn't smell. Other people have come in here and it doesn't smell like wet dog. And, you're like, oh, it's humid. It's Florida. I'm like, no, it's not it. It's a waft and it hits you sometimes and then it goes away and you can't find the smell. Believe me, I've looked for the smell. You cannot find it. Yeah, it's just bizarre. And, where I live in a retirement community where people have died all around, I'm sure their bodies are drifting in and out of homes all the time here. And I'm telling you, that gym where I used to work out, I go to a regular gym now, but the gym here, I'm telling you, man, that place is it's got a haunt going around it. Yeah. It's very interesting living here. I don't want to move. Thank you, Jeanette. And tonight, we're going to talk about a lot of different things. Last night, I was supposed to talk about the John Ramirez DNA Roswell hybrid theory. We'll talk about that a little bit tonight. The Kaikoura lights. Have you ever heard of the Kaikoura lights? I don't know if I'm saying it right. We'll talk about that, which is a very interesting thing. Hey, I thought I changed the title of the show. Yeah, I did. It doesn't show it up on StreamYard. That's weird. Lisa B throwing down a $2 super sticker. Great picture. I see you updated again. Thank you very much for your continuing support. Let's see what sticker you sent us here today. It should be up. Hold on. Oh, it's a lemon drop kid. Very happy, laying down, opening up Jesus' arms, saying, aha! Thank you very much for that. The lemon head. I love the lemon head kid. Love the lemon head kid. Thank you, Lisa. Lisa B. And Rob. Just pure love. Well, all right. You did it. You said it. Yeah, I got it. I know. That's funny, actually. Thank you very much, Robert Wilhelm. Rob with the $20. And I like the new picture. The R looks it looks just like you. Yeah, it's amazing. Is it Patty Gimlin? Patty Giblet? Hold on one second, Robert. By the way, thank you, a continuing supporter of Goof On, like nobody's business. And thank you very much for that, for the $20. Continuing supporter. Can we not do this tonight, Goof On Nerd? Don't do this. Why? Why? See, this is unacceptable during the show. Can't be doing that. Nobody cares. Nobody wants to know. I just seen all these numbers and I'm like, oh my God, please don't spam the chat with this stuff unless people really, really, really want it. Please don't spam. I'm just asking, don't spam the chat room tonight with that. All right, if you're talking to somebody about it and they're interested, fine, I guess. Just let's not go spam crazy. I've seen a lot of goof on nerd messages already, a lot of them. Let's just try not to spam. I will put the slow chat room on so you can only comment every minute for everybody. I'll put it on. I don't care. Want to go that way? Yeah, let's just, let's not get people distracted on something other than what's going on. You see, that's what the show's for. The show's here so we could all talk about what we're talking about, right? And then there'll be, is it ancillary? There'll be side discussions in the chat room about what I'm talking about, which is what I understand could be happening. I'm not saying don't. I'm just saying, when I see patent numbers and shit like that going up in the chat room, I'm like, oh, boy, come on. Just saying, I saw it early. I've seen a lot of messages already. Let's just not spam the chat room. That's all I'm saying. Moderators, you know what to do. The best moderators in the business. Now, with that being said about moderators, some of you may notice your moderator status is not active because we've had another issue and I removed about 5 moderators just because I have to see where the problem's coming from. I'm not saying those people who were moderators that aren't moderators are the problem, but there seems to be a problem and I have to do what I have to do. So that's just the way it is until I figure it out. If your moderator status has been lifted, it will probably go back when I'm ready. The people who maintain moderator status are like, I know you, sort of. You know what I mean? I know you more than I know anybody else that was a moderator. So with that being said, let's make sure we're not blocking people by accident. That should never happen. It's a 3-step process. Now, if you're on your mobile device, it is possible to accidentally block somebody. It's hard, but it can happen. I've almost done it. I didn't do it, but I was holding my phone, just to give you an example, and I went to press on somebody's thing, and I accidentally dropped the phone. It started slipping, and I noticed it says block, hide from channel or not, and I'm like, whoa, hide from channel. I don't want that option. But it popped up when I was dropping the phone because my hand hit it, whatever. So, yes, I understand it. But even though it still asked me if I wanted to hide this person from the channel or not, it didn't go through. It's a 3-step process. So nobody should be accidentally blocked. And if you are blocked, email me. goofonradio@gmail.com. I will look into it and unblock you, just like I had to do with the few people here tonight. So also, moderators, just to let you know, I unblocked some of our biggest haters. Don't block them if you see them. Block them if they're rude. And I mean rude, I mean, you know what I mean. It has to be pretty bad. Okay? All right. I still think we have the best chat room family in ufology. I haven't seen any Oh, I haven't seen that many better, if any, that are better. I go to other chat rooms, other shows. Like, I can't even tell you. I go to Spaced Out Radio. I'll give you an example. And sometimes I don't know what they're even talking about in that chat room. They go off on other things, and yeah, I've seen that here too, but I'm talking every time I go over to Spaced Out Radio, nobody's talking about what's going on in the show. Nobody's talking about, you know, the artwork that's happening up on the screen. Nobody's talking about anything that's happening. Every time I go in there, unless there's an incredible guest, you know, they're just like in another world, you know. And then I go to Amy's show, Alien Girl, and we're talking, you guys are talking about what she's talking about. You cared enough to talk about what's going on in the show. As a host, seeing you guys talk about what's actually being spoken about is very cool. It's a good feeling. But like, even when I went over to Theories of Everything with Kurt Jamungle, and he was doing some stuff, people in there were just being hateful. That they didn't even care about what was being said. It's just weird. Some chat rooms are like that. I think that does stem from the host and interacting with the audience to some degree, but on another level of what should be happening in a chat room is different on every show. It's different no matter where you go. I like what we have here. I think you guys have your own fun. Not everything's about me, which I'm happy to see, thank God. It doesn't have to be about what we're talking about every single second. But I think you guys are incredibly funny, and some of you should have your own freaking shows. But other than that, let's get to the Kaikoura lights. I wanted to talk about this. What? I didn't do a roll call? I did, didn't I? Stephen A., welcome to the show. Samo, Hellfire, welcome to the show. Tony, welcome to the show. Tim Freestone, show welcomes you. SoCal Squatcher, what's up? How you doing, man? Welcome to the show. Brian, welcome to the show. UFO Goof On Nerd, welcome to the show. That UFO chick. Tits McGee. I didn't say it. Why are you doing this to yourself? Why are you putting yourself up as Tits McGee? I think it's just so sexist. It is the most sexist thing I've ever seen. I don't know. Who do you think you are? Who is this person? Who are you?
UFO chicks.
Who is this person?
UFO chicks.
It's a pilot for a new show. It's a UFO gossip call-in with your host, yours truly, Tits Magoo. Say what? Yeah, it's only $700 a minute. And you got to have proof of NIH. I'm sorry, NHI. Nah. Tits Magoo. Come on. Come on, you're more than that. I know the joke, though. It's not fun. Must be tough, you know, being a big-chested woman in this world. I can't imagine it. Who else would talk about this in ufology? Me! Because I saw it from a UFO Twitter account. I thought it was funny. Plus, I see a chest. I'm going to talk about it. I'm sorry. That's just the way it is. And I thank you for that UFO chick. I appreciate the humor and the visual. God knows I do. No, it's true. I love it. I love it. She just comes right out and tells you, I'm Tits Magoo. That's it. $700 a minute. Get the NHI. That's all I need. I know it's a joke, but thank God. At least you have a sense of humor about your block parties. I don't know. Yeah, I know you had that today. That was, I didn't check it out. I was sleeping, I think, but I like the visuals. That's all I'm saying. Moonlight, welcome to the show. Lunar Sparkles Uno, welcome to the show. Hey! Star Child. Amy. Alien Girl. Uno. On. Welcome to the show. Diane Boss. All right, let's get started. Michelle F. Graff. Tim Freestone. Welcome. Posner. How you doing? Stephen A. Welcome to the show. See, there's a good person right there. Follow me to the end of the earth. Thank you. I mean well. Moonlight, how you doing, brother? What is that other show? Richie's goes on once in a week now. I go on Thursday nights. Rebellious Unknown. Used to be Rebellious UFOlogy. Thursday night. Yeah, I think we do have a show this Thursday. Yeah, we have a show. I'll be on it. I hope so. I'll do this show probably for an hour and a half, and then I'll take 30 minutes off and go over there. Depends how I feel. It's tomorrow already. Yeah. All right, let's get, what's this? Be honest, Richie, I've been a very super long supportive channel, and I was gutting that PayPal came out of a bank 4 or 5 days ago, and guess you didn't see the massive love, though? I don't know what you mean. Yeah, I don't know what that means. I've been a very super long supporter of the channel, and I was gutting that the PayPal came out of my bank account about 4 or 5 days ago. I'm guessing you didn't see massive love, though. If that is for memberships, I don't get updates on that. But what I do every couple of shows, Stephen, I do this. Watch the bottom here. Let me see where it is. Well, I see where it is. I'm just looking for your name. I do this, I thank the members, and stuff like that. I update it, and whoever's members, then here's another one I put up, and then here's a third one I put up. I try to let people know that I appreciate what they've done, and you see the little digs at me. I know, I know Steven here is joking around a little bit, but I see everybody, but I don't see everything that comes in if it's not directly to like right now, if you send something to PayPal, here it is. I see something. Somebody just sent something. I don't know this person, so I'm just going to say the first name Tamer. I don't know who this is, but it looks like it's a play on the name words, but $10.33, and it says spend. But if your membership, if you have one or anything goes through PayPal, I don't see it that way. I don't know. I'm looking at PayPal and I don't see anything from you on here, Stephen. Let's see. Let's look at the history here for a few days. I see Marie Jose, Sproul, Dorothy, Wayne, and Nathan. And that goes back till March 13th. So I don't see anything from you, Stephen, that shows anything coming in on PayPal. So must have been another account or something happened. But yeah, I don't know. Well, I appreciate you. I do. Every time you send a super chat, I say, thank you very much. I don't know where this conversation was supposed to go, Stephen, but I think I'm taking too literally. I think I'm taking what you're saying too literally. But thank you very much. I just feel like I had to justify myself for that moment. There's Don Mofo. How you doing, man? Thank you for the $5 super dono. Continuing supporter of GoofOn. Mucho gusto, generoso. Thank you very much. That's a super dono right there. No message, no comment. Continuing supporter of GoofOn. I know people are going to take things personally, right? You just can't. You know, we're YouTubers. I'm just like you. Imagine just starting a channel and then, you know, nobody tells you how to do anything. You just figure it out as you go along, and you would think, yeah, after 3 years, I should know. Well, I do. I think we do a good job here of pointing everything out that we can as far as support goes. But anyway, let's get to work. We have work to do. Thank you, Don Mofo. Appreciate the continuing support, as always. Lantonio's been around. He's been around. I think he's just taking some time away. He's with his girl, I think. I know he's been hanging out with his girl since my birthday, since the 10th, or maybe a little before that. But look, I never finished it last night, so I sealed it up. Let's see if it still has a little bit of fuzz. Yeah, it's like lukewarm water. All right, let's get to work. Sour Patch. All right, got some work to go over. So yesterday, I went over the UFO Endgame to Disclosure, the movie, which, by the way, is fantastic. #1 on iTunes and Prime. And I didn't play something last night that I thought I got distracted at the end of the show. This was a very important part of last night's show, and I wanted to play it, and I didn't. I forgot. But it doesn't matter when you play this video I'm about to play you, because it's from the movie. And it shows a couple of the interviews that happened during the movie. This is a Third Phase of Moon version of UFO Endgame. And I wanted to play this because it does show you parts of the movie and what people were saying and things that I was going over last night. I wish I remembered playing it, but I have it here and I'm going to play it now. Not the whole thing because it's 22 minutes, but enough. So check it out. Let's roll into UFO Endgame to Disclosure. It was just too much to get over with last night, but check this out. I think you'll enjoy this.
Welcome back to Third Phase of Moon. Blake Cousins, we've got the documentary UFO Endgame to Disclosure. It's dropping tonight worldwide on all streaming services. We're going to be giving you tonight sneak peeks behind the conspiracy, the cover-up of the phenomenon known as UFOs or false flag. Is it around the corner? This is our trilogy follow-up to Countdown to Disclosure, Above Top Secret, now UFO Endgame to Disclosure. We've got Michael Schratt, military historian. We've also have Jim Goodall, along with Dr. Stephen Greer, going over the topic of what's happening right now in regards to the phenomenon. So let's get to the first sneak peek exclusive right here on Third Phase of Moon from UFO Endgame to Disclosure from former FBI agent John D'Souza. Watch this.
There's going to be no more of these near misses. Near misses are already considered a hostile action in a military kind of milieu. It already is. But what we're going to have is direct military action from these UAPs, these Tic Tacs, which are of all shapes and sizes, by the way, and we will have a huge hostile action against an entire battleship or many airliners as well. And we're going to see huge consequences from that because they have to do it at this point because people are losing interest in the UAP situation. They're seeing fraud artists like Elizondo and others that work with him as well, and people are just not impressed that much by these Tic Tacs and this 1950s videos that they're showing. People just don't care. So they have to go into the desperate, if they want to keep this alive, and they have to, because this is Operation Failsafe. When everything else fails and they got nothing else, they're going to have to go to fake alien invasion. That's what we're facing, that's what we're looking at, and that is something that will absolutely happen.
John D'Souza, retired FBI agent known as the X-Men. Some of his statements are highly provocative, but if true, is the false flag alien invasion right around the corner? According to John D'Souza, he believes it is, and quite provocative. Again, as we say it, right here at Third Phase Moon, this is not a nothing burger. This documentary will give you evidence and go behind the scenes of the secret cover-up for a potential of catastrophic events.
John D'Souza, when this was being made, let's go back 8-9 months. He said in 6 to 9 months, we should be ready and primed for a FFAI, false flag alien invasion. Now, I asked this last night, and I just wanted to bring it up again. Did we have some sort of test already about a false flag alien invasion over the U.S. with those the spy balloon, and the other unknowns, the unknown knowns, which have never been recovered? Could that have been a glimpse, a test, a psyop to see what Americans wanted us to do when we found out they didn't shoot that spy balloon down when they first found out about it? By the way, the Pentagon, the military, the Navy, they knew the day that balloon was launched, 3 days before it showed up on the West Coast or wherever. They knew about it. The whole thing, if you don't know, if you didn't look into it, if you didn't look any further than just what the headlines gave you, you wouldn't have known that we knew about this 3 days before it showed up on the West Coast. And then they just let it go across all of, central United States, right over our military industry complex, hidden stuff, everything, take pictures, and then they shoot it as it goes off the northeast coast, southeast coast, whatever. Silliness. And then out of nowhere, we're going to shoot one down over in Canada, and we're going in Alaska. And I'm like, you know what? This is a test. This has got to be a test. They're just seeing how we reacted. And you know what? Americans wanted us to shoot that stuff down. And they did. So they say.
Known as the false flag alien invasion. There is.
Thank you, Blue Glass, for the $2.
Major media in regards to the real truth.
Appreciate the support. Just in case you didn't see it, thank you very much. Mucho gusto, generoso.
Of what's going on. Every single day, it gets harder and harder to put out the information. When you search UFO anywhere, they go back to CNN and Fox. What's happening? They're on the same narrative. There is a cover-up, and we're not being told the truth. Now, let's get to another exclusive cut right here on Third Phase of Moon with Jane C. Goodall, one of the most respected historians of aviation in modern history. Here's a clip, again, exclusive from UFO Endgame to Disclosure.
Bob Lazar did it. He decided that it was worth the risk because he felt that his life was in danger. And that may be, the catalyst that makes someone else decide, I'm going to do what's right. I'm going to go public on what I know, what I've seen. And that has to happen.
And that hasn't happened. It hasn't happened. Bob Lazar did nothing for whistleblowers. But he did a lot. He did a lot. Bob Lazar did. Look, if it wasn't for Bob Lazar, we wouldn't be talking about S4. That's what we need to stay away from. Exactly what I just said. What do you mean? Stay away from what? Stay away from false narratives. That's all. I don't know what else to say about that, but I like Jim Goodall's tie. It's a cool tie.
There's got to be legislation.
Cool tie for a cool guy.
Put forward. Now, it's not. I don't think it's going to happen with this president. Maybe his replacement. But it has to be done because this information has to get out. If we are being visited by interdimensional beings from wherever, we should know about it. We should be I mean, if you don't know who your adversary is, if you don't know who the enemy of the people are, besides the federal government, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage. And I'm talking about the world in general, not just individuals, and I want to know. And I've been criticized for asking, demanding answers from my government, but it is my government.
Great questions,
Let's not forget, Mr. Goodall, that we pay our government to keep secrets as well, not just tell us their secrets. So let's not get lost in our emotions and think because, you want it to happen, it will happen. Saying it so doesn't make it so. Mr. Goodall, with all due respect, I think you're wrong. I think you're wrong on this one. We pay our government. Do you realize what kind of weapon that would turn into? Don't you realize that's what this is all about? The black budget programs, getting the technology to overthrow our government. That's what they're afraid of. The black budget programs have the technology that's more advanced than what the government is actually holding on to. That's the fear of these objects. If our government really doesn't know where the objects are coming from, then the biggest threat is our government acting out of desperation, acting out of fear, not acting out of logical thought process on what would happen if we shoot at these things, which is why Jeremy Corbell is FOS. That guy is so full of it that it's amazing to me he's even allowed to speak on mainstream media. It really blows me away. It does. Who's next in this? Jim Goodall's definitely up for everything to just finish it off here.
Statement from Jim Goodall in the exclusive clips brought to you right here on Third Phase of Moon. UFO Endgame to Disclosure is available right now. We're supplying the link below to be viewed on all streaming services like iTunes that the public will have to bring on the forefront. These are the questions and some of the answers that you will find as we traverse across the country.
Doesn't Jim Goodall look like he could have been an ex-president? Right?
Hawaii, California, Arizona,
easily,
Washington, D.C., Virginia, to bring you some of these incredible interviews from the top ufologists on the planet. Right now, let's get to another exclusive clip right here, a sneak peek to UFO Endgame. Guys, take a close look at this. It's mind-boggling.
In terms of, them busting into places and bringing things out, it's going to be a negotiated situation by using leverage. Now, what does the legal constitutional government of the United States have that these organizations don't have? The rule of law, the Constitution, prosecutorial powers, and subpoena powers. So at a certain point, once I have been giving enough specific information that they have gotten into and seen that this is real, it then becomes a matter of political and social will to bring these projects to heel and put them on a leash so that they're overseen appropriately by we the people and our people's representatives. So that is really how that's going to happen. Someone recommended when Obama got inaugurated that I recommend that he go in with tactical nuclear weapons into some of these facilities. And I said, this is the craziest thing I ever heard of. I said, no, we're not going to recommend that. But it wouldn't work anyway, because they would just self-destruct all those assets. So they have things in place to do that.
Explosive.
True. I'm going to stop playing that right there. Yeah, according to Greer, they've got the detonate button. So if anything was to happen, of course they have protocol set up to where they would take whatever data they probably have copies upon copies of everything. So it doesn't even matter. You take down one facility, you got to take them all down. Even then, you're not getting everything. All right. Even there's so many safety protocols put in. There has to be. Do you think, here's an idea. Well, not an old idea, but I wonder if that's what they did, if that's what the ancient civilizations did. They hid technology they didn't understand, maybe. Maybe it fell out of the sky. Maybe they found it. I don't know. It's just really weird how technology came to be. It's bound to happen, right? What bothers me is how long it took us to come up with the wheel. I don't know. It's just me. I mean, the wheel. Right? We didn't even have the wheel for a long time. How could you not have seen a log rolling and think, oh, yeah, I could make something out of that? It looks like it's moving pretty easily along the ground. We went from looking like Bigfoot to looking like this. And there's no missing link. Wait. Right. There's a link that's missing. Where is it? Why did we lose all of our hair? I was just watching a documentary series with not Grant Cameron, Graham Hancock. And he's talking about the Great Flood and the catastrophes that it caused civilization 12,800 years ago. And then there was this place that built these catacombs underground, like 250 feet underground. And it could have housed 20,000 people in these unbelievable carved out, chiseled out little homes. And they each looked like a little embryo sac, They showed a side view of what it would look like underground, a dissection of it. And it blew my mind. It's like, why did they go underground? Why would they need to go underground? Well, back then they're saying, well, it was to hide from, other tribes and shit like that. But I'm like, yeah, but they had to build it. that couldn't have happened overnight. That had to have taken at least 5 years minimum. I think it took something like 30 years. But holy crap. Humans have done all sorts of crazy things throughout history to survive. But I don't think that's why we lost our hair, because we went underground. Or is it? And how long were we underground? And why were we underground for as long as, however long it was? I don't know. 100 years, 1,000, I don't know. Just very strange. Oh my God. I couldn't have gotten any more mad today when I saw this clip I want to play of Gary Nolan. I have to play it. Where is it, Rich? I had it. No. It's so frustrating to watch him. No, I just don't know what I'm going to do. Well, hold on, I got to find it now. I don't understand him. Here it is, Idiot Nolan. That's what I call it. No, that's Richard Dolan. Oh no, Nolan. Yeah, no, Nolan. Here it is. This is interesting. I don't like it when people use this analogy. This is basically this is high school. No, this is 8th grade debate tactics when you're talking about why the aliens won't talk to the humans. Listen to this craphead.
To ask is, well, why do they show up? And maybe it's just, and why don't they land? That's a question I often get asked is, well, why would you? I mean, do you try to establish diplomatic relations with the ants in your garden when I just want to take, and seriously, take him out behind the house, as Lou Elizondo would say, and tell him the truth. What an idiotic thing to say. And people, if anybody uses that debate tactic against you, why would the aliens talk to us? We're like ants to them. Are you freaking? Do you know ants that could build airplanes? Build tall buildings? Do math? Write symphonies? We are so interesting. It's not even funny. What he's saying is the most ridiculous and scripted thing the government wants you to remember. It's not the truth. We are incredibly unique. Absolutely. Every way you look at us, we're unique. Even down to our cell structure, we are incredibly unique. Yes, the aliens need to talk to us because we speak languages. Ants only... No. Maybe. How's this? What if those reptilians can talk to ants and the ants have a lot of shit to say? Do we know about that? Can you prove that? Gary? You simple, sold out man. You are a simpleton. You are a script reader and nothing more. Well, why would you? I mean, do you try to establish diplomatic relations with the ants in your garden when you move into a new house? No, you do what you want, and you dig up the yard, and you do as you
suck
please.
his asshole. Yeah, there you go.
Interfere with them. If there's a nest of birds, you're not going to interfere. You're going to try not to bother them. So, because you've got your own business going on, you're doing your own thing. So,
what an asshole! That is so stupid of him to say all that. You've got your own thing going on. You're busy. He's saying the aliens are busy, so they wouldn't talk to us. They're busy doing other things. Do you hear this? From Gary P. Nolan. This is your guy.
This is who you like in ufology. This is the guy you want representing you or your ufology, not my ufology. I don't even want to look at him. I can't stand this shit. It pains me. It
What that
hurts.
thing is, I don't know.
There does seem to be some connection between nuclear
Ants.
power, nuclear
No.
weapons, nuclear fission itself, and these objects. I mean, have you clearly noticed this?
Yes. Well, I think if you ask yourself the question, how could we negatively interact with them, right? I mean, there's probably little that even they could do if we blew up a nuclear bomb around them. So to the extent that
Nobody asked you that. Nobody asked what would happen if a nuclear bomb went off around an alien. Do you see the evasion? He can't even speak proper narratives. He can't. He doesn't have the ability to. I'll replay that last 10 seconds.
Nuclear power, nuclear weapons, nuclear fission itself, and these objects. I mean, have you clearly noticed this?
Yes. Well, I think if you ask yourself the question, how could we negatively interact with them, right? I mean, there's probably little that even they could do if we blew up a nuclear bomb around them. So
there's probably even little they can do if we blew up a nuclear bomb around them. There's not much they can do? The aliens?
And these objects. I mean, have you clearly noticed this?
Yes. Well, I think if you ask yourself the question, how could we negatively interact with them, right? I mean, there's probably little that even they could do if we blew up a nuclear bomb around them.
There's probably little they can do if we blew up a nuclear bomb around the aliens. What? Ma! Why? Why is he here? Oh, I'm so embarrassed for ufology.
So to the extent that we have reached a level of technological capability where we can be a problem to them, nuclear weapons are one of them.
So he's saying that the reason, if you remembered this whole conversation that I've interrupted 10 times, the reason he's saying that because they were talking about the aliens being interested in our nuclear power plants and shit like that. So Gary Nolan's thinking, well, yeah, because if we blew up a nuclear bomb around the aliens, not much even they can do about it because they'd incinerate as well. So they're scared of our nuclear weapons. Oh, okay. And you have this information. Who? How? How? Oh, you don't. Yeah, just speculation. Just like the ants. Yeah. All right. All right. I see where this guy's going. What a sellout. He is no different than Neil deGrasse Hole Tyson right now. He's no different than Michio Kawakubo. Sad. No. That was a disgrace, what we just watched. In 1 minute and 10 seconds, that was a disgrace. And if you can't see that, yeah, I guess I can't make you see anything anyway. But just, if you need a little, here, let's do this. Here's an example of Grant Cameron's The Theory of Wow as it pertains to the UFO phenomenon. And this is an interview with Knapp and Elizondo. Knapp says, it seems like these things wanted to be seen. Here we go again with the typical scripted, unoriginal narrative that the aliens wanted to be seen. Now we know what their intent is. We know they don't want to speak to us because we're like ants. I mean, we're just powerless against these things, apparently, except for our nuclear capabilities. We could nuke them. Yeah, because that's our big bombs. Our big bombs can hurt those nasty aliens. Still gotta have our bombs. Don't worry. They're scared of our bombs. Stupid. What are you referencing that from? Why isn't Tucker Carlson saying, where did you get that information from? How is that a fact? Well, just, we humans, that's how we see it. So that's what it is. It is what we say it is. So you're saying it is making it. Got it. Here we go.
USS Omaha, the information that we released, it was one of at least 5 different ships that were buzzed in July 2019 by these unknowns. And they weren't able to see them coming in. They weren't able to see them leaving.
No.
And it seemed like these things wanted to be seen. They were making a display or a performance. The USS Omaha Spear travels with the ship right along with it for like an hour. It's like, hey, take some close-ups. Here I am. And then it goes in the water.
It's like they wanted to be seen. How many times have UFOs been seen? Lost count. And now this time, they wanted to be seen this time. Got a camera, we got cameras, we got pictures. Well, can we see them? No. Why not? No. I don't know. Because you can't see them. Why? This is where D'Souza makes me laugh in the documentary. And I laugh out of, because he's right. These things are man-made. They look man-made. They're man-made, man. Just end this stupidity. Let's admit it's ours, or let's just say it's China and we're defenseless against them. Can't say that. That's why a couple of months ago, we had our first successful hypersonic missile test. Yeah. Remember how we couldn't even go 9 seconds? Yeah. And China was able to send their hypersonic missile around the world. It took 1 hour and 8 minutes or something, and it almost hit the target, missed it by a mile. It went 25,000 miles. But our rocket was only able to go 9 seconds at that point. 16 seconds. It was really low. Yeah, it wasn't an hour. So all of a sudden now we have a successful hypersonic missile that can go around the world. Beautiful, yeah. Like we haven't had that already. If we supposedly have this alien technology, then why do we even care what China's got or anybody has? Do we care? Doesn't seem like it. So to me, I think it's us if it isn't China. And it may have been China, and then maybe we captured one and maybe we shot one down, or, one stopped working and it fell in the ocean. I don't know. We're not going to know. But according to, people like George Crap here, there's video evidence. God, I would love to see it. Remember when Lou Elizondo was saying, there's this 27-minute clear, high-definition video that I have seen. He said he's seen it. But it looked like he was lying. He didn't see it. No. You know what he probably saw? The file name 27-minute HD video of UFO. He couldn't open it though. Maybe he saw the file. He never watched it. Elizondo, he really shouldn't even be in ufology anymore. Is he? Is he? Yeah, really. Is he? I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to play this clip, and then when I come back, we are going to... Hold on, let me take a look at something real quick here. Huh. Well, I see there's... All right. I see there's a... All right. Hold on a second. I'm going to do this now instead. Let's do this. It's been a few minutes, a few days, but here's an Into Thin Air special video. Very large earthquake rocks Ecuador coast with damage, but it probably means other things. So let's give Into Thin Air a few minutes of our time, and as usual, giddy up. Bam, bam, bam.
All right, my friends, it is Saturday, March 18th, 2023. Hope you all had a good St. Patrick's Day. We are not starting this day with any good news, though. A large earthquake just struck just near the coast of Ecuador. We could see jumping over to the USGS, they have downgraded this twice now. This was originally a 7.2. It then went to a 6.9, and now, of course, it is a 6.7 earthquake. Here are a few screen grabs of when they had it as a 6.9 before they adjusted it again. I do not have the 7.2 from my phone, the original reading of this earthquake, but nonetheless, this does not look good. It looks like rescue teams are already trying to find areas of damage. A lot of people out in the streets, as you can see. Now, one decent thing about this earthquake is that it was fairly deep, so we shouldn't expect too much damage. I'm not sure exactly if this video is real yet. I got to actually look into this and verify the authenticity of it, but this clearly shows some damage that is taking place near that area of Ecuador. And once again, here is a screen grab of the USGS before downgrading from a 7.2, bringing it to a 6.9, and now they've readjusted again to a 6.7. So you guys can think what you want about that, but nonetheless, a very, very large earthquake. Now, there is something interesting I want to point out here that was brought up by another YouTuber, and this was just this morning, I believe this person pointed it out. And right after this, we're going to get to the exact epicenter of the earthquake on Google Earth, as well as some other video that has come in. But again, this is some very interesting detail that we should pay attention to. But I want you to take a look at these three earthquakes that happened fairly quickly, basically just a few moments after one another. And if you take a line and you start at one of these earthquakes and you draw a line, they exactly line up to the dot. These earthquakes that took place in a rapid succession just earlier today, I believe, were all in a perfect straight line. And then we get our big Ecuador earthquake right here, the 6.9, I'm going to call it, at least a 7.0, especially with some of that video we saw. And yeah, and checking out some of these videos now, you could see a lot of people freaking out. They were in grocery stores, things falling off the shelves. I don't want to play too much of this stuff for you guys because of copyright issues, but take a look at this guy's pool right here. You can see all the water shaking, the trees are shaking, everything is shaking in this video. It's pretty intense, but that is what you can expect from an earthquake of this size. We're going to get more information as it comes in. This basically just happened nearly an hour ago, so there's going to be a lot to sift through, a lot of details that are going to change, and hopefully we don't have to deal with any lives lost. As of right now, I've not seen anything about that besides the images of the rubble and of course the random videos coming out all over that area of the shaking taking place, people filming it, their doorbell cams, all sorts of stuff like that. In fact, let's take a look at the exact epicenter of where they're saying this took place. And there's something interesting about this area. It is a mountainous area, you can see right here. different villages, definitely population around the epicenter, and I'm sure all these people along the coast felt it, especially an earthquake of this magnitude. But when you zoom right into this area, it looks like it's basically just straight mountains, and then they got this weird icon here that shows some type of store in the middle of nowhere. And of course, it happens to be a liquor store, but maybe it's just the overlay on this part of Ecuador that we can't see good detail of. But I just thought it was funny how that random store was just sitting there in the middle of the mountains right next to the epicenter of where this quake took place. All right, my friends, as I get more news, I will bring it to you as soon as possible. Again, I hope you're having a good Saturday. I'll be keeping up to date on the Twitter and or Instagram channel with information about this earthquake. And with that said, I appreciate each and every one of you, and I will talk to you all in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.
Into thin air, throwing down some serious news about unnatural weather events and things that go bump all over the world. So we thank Into Thin Air for allowing us to play the video. And all the links I play that are connected to YouTube will be in the show description after the show ends. Capiche? All right. Let's get to work. So, are you confused? Is ufology really confusing you? Seriously, it is confusing. Because if you look back on the last 5-6 years since TTSA came around, it went from everything being a threat to getting the arrow, to getting the Whistleblower Act, to having congressional hearings. And what did every one of those give us? Absolutely nothing. Nothing. Whistleblowers don't want to blow. Where are they? Didn't that Whistleblower Act go through? No. It did go through, right? The Whistleblower Act? Or are they just lying? All right. Well, I found something today on Facebook I think you guys may be interested in seeing. That's right. Team Giordano. The store is now official. You can become a lifetime member of Team Giordano. Just go to the link. You can buy any one of our t-shirt, hoodies, all that stuff. Sneakers. Oh, you can't see that? Here, let's pull it up the right way. Hold on. Here we go. You can buy the Giordano sneaker brand now. I've got it all here. You know, whatever you need. These are not Nike brand. It's a good brand. I'm a Giordano. My level of sarcasm depends on your level of stupidity t-shirt. Okay. So there's the hats. I love this one here. Definitely love this one. Now, here's the rub, guys. It ain't my store. It isn't mine. I don't know. But Giordano is a label out there, and I'm getting hooked up for sure. Are you kidding me? Somebody put this together, maybe because of me. I don't know. But this is unreal. Look at this. And you know, I'm worried because it is on Facebook. I think it's all fake, you know. But who would fake all this? Now look at this one. My goodness, that's beautiful, isn't it? American flag. Look at this. You can have your own Giordano bedspread, koozie, phone case. I've got it all. And who says I don't make any money? Look at these prices. Look, they got belt buckles and shit. Look at this. That's beautiful. I want this. I want that on my bed. But it's 100 bones for me.
Anyway, I don't know if this is real. So I'm going to purchase one of these hats tonight and see if I get ripped off. Look at the stretch pants, ladies. I mean, even I would wear these to the gym once my booty gets a little tighter, but damn. You got some sneakers. Look at this. I mean, beautiful, right? This right here, I would wear that. That's because I'm a little different. I like wearing bright stuff. Anyway, I thought it was fun because somebody made that, and I don't know why, but Giordano is a brand name out there. I mean, it really is. So I don't know what this brand is, but I thought it was interesting to see my name on some really cool looking stuff. But I'm not sure, and I don't know. I've been ripped off on Facebook once, and I never bought anything again on Facebook. It was supposed to be these lightsabers, and I ordered it, and what they sent me was something from Mexico or Brazil. It was the cheapest thing you've ever seen, and it didn't match what was in the picture. Came 17 weeks later. It was a joke. So I don't buy anything on Facebook, but I am probably going to try that and see if I get the hat, because I would like a Giordano hat. Anyway, it is a label there. That's what I was trying to say. It's a label. Yeah. But I would like to have somebody make a store for Goof On like that. Jesus, would that be awesome? Anyway, let's get back to work here. I thought that was interesting to show, so I showed it. Let me save that. Here we go. Get rid of that there. Get rid of that. We did that. That's cool then. I think that's incredible. Well, Wilcox is a very well-known name. More than Giordano, that's for sure. Yeah, but thank you for the Canadian $5.50. Right out there on Super Chat land. David Wilcox. That's cool. Yeah, go check out your own names. Maybe your name is somewhere in the ether. It's always nice to wear your own name as a label, because nobody would know. Nobody would know. He's wearing that Giordano hat again? That's better than a Nike hat, Johnson. I wonder if his last name is Giordano. No, he looks like a Gutierrez. I do look like a Gutierrez. No, I don't look like a Ricky. No, Ricky Ricardo was Cuban. Hey, don't talk about the Cuba. Don't you go there. All right, I won't, Scarface. Don't you dare. Now, when I first got into this field, there was a gentleman that I became friends with. His name was Brian Vike. And Brian Vike had the most popular UFO channel in Canada, UFO website, not channel, my bad. And it was called hbccufo.org. And Brian Vike introduced me to everybody in the field that was in the know back in the day. Everybody that he knew, I was going on their shows. And, you know, I'm talking the most popular shows. What was that one guy? He's still around, and he's a horrible, horrible interviewer, which is John. Oh my God. Anyway, he's still around. It'll come to me. Why I can't remember is beyond me. But I would go on his show, and he would interview like this. This was the interview. This is when I captured the red worm, and it changed colors, and then when it exploded, everything went. Anyway, the video is incredible, and I'm talking to him about it. And this was I believe it was February 6th, 2006, because it was the night they had a 2-hour event on UFOs on 60 Minutes or something like that with not Peter Davenport, the guy back then who got fired, but he was having this UFO show on the same time I was on this show, this popular show. And the interview goes, so Rich, tell me about your sighting. So I'm telling him, and this is all I hear. As I'm telling the story, I hear this, uh-huh, 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 mm-hmm, He's watching TV, I found out. He's watching the Peter Benchley special, whatever the frig it was, as he's talking to me. So he's not paying attention. He's just going, uh-huh. So then I said something that didn't happen. I go, then it split into a million pieces and it looked like happy faces went everywhere. And he goes, fascinating. And then Brian Vike jumps in and he goes, oh, yeah, Richard, yeah, that is a real interesting ending to that story there, yeah. And, oh, yeah, so we've got stories like that, yeah. So, John, you with us? Oh, yeah, I'm here. So that guy, because of his horrible instincts, and I've listened to his show for a long time before that, so I know I'm right when I say this guy's awful at interviewing people. Why I can't read. He's a very popular conspiracy theorist show. He's got white hair now. I don't know if his name's John. I don't know. I freaking can't remember. But Brian Vike was one of the guys who everybody knew and everybody was going to. And he could get you the interviews and you could get on the other people's shows. He was a real great communicator and connecting people together. And he had this great website at the time, which, by the way, he sold to Bob Bigelow. Remember when Bigelow bought out the MUFON data and all the other data? Brian Vike sold out. Now, Brian Vike, when I met him in 2004, was already looking to get out of ufology. Oh, Richard, he'd tell me, I'm like, wow, what's the matter today? And he goes, you wouldn't believe all these people, all they do is lie. They lie. I don't know why I sound that way, but he had a real hard Canadian accent from British Columbia, longtime native. But these buggers, he'd tell me, I just want to rip my hair out. I'm going bald. I want to see my grandchildren grow up. I don't need this in my life, he would tell me. I'm like, what is so bad about ufology? I'm new to it. I don't know. But he is the sole reason I am here. And I saw a story yesterday, and it's called The Vike Factor Into the Paranormal. And it says KBCC UFO Research. Now, this is from 2020, the story, but it's an interesting story. And the reason I'm talking about it, because how often are there stories that are told where UFOs are being shot at? And here's one of those stories. There was a UFO shootout above Okanagan Lake Kelowna, British Columbia, from the Vike Factor. So I don't know if Brian Vike is still around. I don't know if this came from his archives. Whatever it is, it's a really interesting story. So this guy writes, hey, Brian, okay, so like I said, I would have been watching the skies, not last night, but the night before. I saw something out of this world, no pun intended. It was about 10:45 p.m. at night. Yeah, obviously. And I saw two objects in the sky just hovering. They weren't doing much, but something new with most sightings. They were different shaped objects. One was thin and longish, and the other was like a triangle shape. They kept hovering there, so I got up quickly to run to grab my camera. But the next thing I know, I hear a smallest bang, almost like a gun, and the longish one starts to hurl toward Earth on fire, making a deep sound, kind of like a nuclear generator bass kind of sound. I'm thinking to myself, what the hell? He says, I watched the object as it disappeared at low altitude behind a small hill between my neighborhood and the lake. We're up here. I looked up and I saw the triangular object make a small circle, come a little lower, and then I see it start to hurl towards the sky at a fast rate. And the long one reappears from behind the hill. There was no more fire, and descending at breakneck speed, and when it gets a little higher, I saw it literally shoot something at the other object, and then a very loud bang, and the triangular one was no longer visible. The long-shaped one started to what looked like it was searching the sky. It was going north and south and east and west very quickly, almost like a hummingbird when it goes side to side, you know? Then the object disappeared, and I suppose its departure broke the sound barrier immediately because I heard the sonic boom when the barrier was broken. Anyway, like I said, this seems ludicrous, and after many years for watching the skies, I finally saw what seemed like two ETs duking it out. The thing I find interesting about the sighting, though, is that the objects were not glowing eerily like most UFO sightings refer to. It makes the sighting almost that much more real, if you know what I mean. Interesting. So two UFOs battled it out. And then here are some more accounts. This is a very interesting report, and since reports have been coming in from around the entire area at this time, wondering if other people may have been witnesses to the objects and sounds, and if you would file a report, send it to Brian Vike, Papara. I don't know what happened last night, this witness says, but it was the most frightening, incredible, and downright terrifying thing I've ever seen. I was walking my dog along the beach at West Bank, BC, and minding my own business close to 11 p.m. on the 2nd of July, yesterday, when I see this really bright thingy that looked something like, well, I don't know, but it didn't fit the usual description of a UFO round type of object. God, how are people talking? Right? I mean, who? I don't know. It looked somewhat like a torpedo or something with wings, kind of like a fighter jet screaming across the sky and downwards on fire. It crashed into the lake, and there was a big splash, almost like a large plane. And the sound, hold on, I gotta cough. Anyway, the sound was incredibly loud, kind of like a deep bass womp, womp, womp sound as it came down. Oh, that's kind of what the other person said about the deep bass sound. Womp, womp, womp. You know, womp, womp, womp. Anyway, really good stuff. It's good jargon. What's that? Oh no, I missed Super Chat. David Wilcox, yeah, I saw that one. Oh, yeah, Joshua Morphew. That's the guy who posted my UFO sighting. Ah. Brian Vike. Great guy, man. And that's what a wild coincidence right there, right? I mean, what are the odds? Well, Brian Vike spoke with thousands of people, so I guess the odds aren't that bad. But very cool to know. I like hearing that, Joshua. And thank you for the $2 super chat. Mucho gusto, generoso, continuing supporter of GoFund. Mark, mark. Yeah, now, you know what I heard? because I saw somebody say something about real UFOs. How do you know? Because some UFOs have lights. Hold on a second, guys. Whoa, I got some. Wow, when did you guys send this? 7:43 from Jan. I'm sorry, I didn't know. This was about 50 minutes ago. $11.11. Send to PayPal, man. Thank you very much, Jan. A big mucho gusto generoso. And a continuing supporter of Goof On. And then David Wilcox says, $20. Thank you. Dude, thanks, man. He says, if there's a false flag event, this was at 7:45, is it to make the government out to be the hero or just a total change to life as we know it? Yes, I have thought of that. By the way, again, thanks for the $20 on PayPal. Always supporting the show. Thank you. And what a great question, to be honest. It's both. It's to make whoever's going to fight against the aliens, it's what this false flag alien invasion is supposed to do is unite everybody. But we're not at that level, are we? To where we're almost at civil war right now? And to switch that and have an FFAI, it definitely would bind people together as humans, as a species, just like it did on 9/11. For those of you who remember, after 9/11 happened, for about a year, it was bliss being a human. People were nice. It was the greatest thing ever. Everybody. So I'd like to go back to that. We all, when we looked at each other back after 9/11, we knew that this could happen to any one of us at any time. And whatever the intent of 9/11 was that day, it bound us together as a people. Same thing would happen if we had a false flag alien invasion. We would bind together as an Independence Day scenario would happen. Of course, we would have to bind together. Sadly, though, when things start going back to normal, we go back to who we really are, the greedy, the disrespectful, the power-hungry narcissists that we are. So, David Wilcox, you're right. It's both. To look like we're going to bring the world together and to also be the hero. Because the world needs a hero. I have a feeling next year, late this year, there may be a real false flag alien invasion. I'm not kidding. I don't know why. But something big is going to happen. Something big is going to happen, like a 9/11 event. We're due. Maybe it's going to be a big earthquake, or I don't know. I have a feeling we're so overdue for that big one along the San Andreas. We're so overdue. So overdue. It should happen any minute. It can happen right as we're sitting here. And you know what? We should feel it if that 9.5 happens. We would feel it here in Florida. Of course we would. Yeah, thanks for the PayPal support, guys. That's an instant thing, and I appreciate that. Yeah, because when super chats that go in, I have to wait till the next month to get those. You know, those super chats, which is fine because that it's always, it always adds up from the month before to month before to month before. But some people think that I get that right away. No, YouTube pays us out on the 21st of every month or the next business day after, if it's a holiday or weekend. So we usually get paid around that time of the month, between the 21st and the 25th. That's what it really is. And but the PayPal, the Cash Apps, those are automatically, like, those go right to me, and those can be used to go on the excursions to Miami and Fort Lauderdale, where I don't know if I'm going to go this weekend or next weekend, but I'm definitely going. Definitely. Now, another thing that's coming up, third phase of Moon. They're unbelievable. They really are. They're going to be making a movie, like a real movie, and they're making another UFO documentary. But they're going to be coming to Washington in June. And I want to go drive to Washington and meet them in June. So those are the next couple of months, what I'm planning, couple of weeks to couple of months. And the May House, which I'm going to be investigating, I could do it tomorrow night. I don't know. I may do it tomorrow on a live show. So I'm going to go there tomorrow again. And I'm going to see if I can talk to somebody there that'll give me access. And maybe I could just do the ghost hunt on my own and get locked in the May House. So I want to go in there and see if they'll, I mean, I only live 1.5 miles up the road. I drive by it every day. When I go somewhere, I'm driving by that place. It's crazy. But it'll be a really cool ghost hunt if I could go there. Now, of course, I don't want to go alone. I do want somebody to come with me. So as soon as I find out, I will let you guys know. And if anybody's in the area and wants to come down to where I am, we can do it together. Just saying. It would be cool as hell. It'd be cool. Hey, Joshua Morphew became a member of Truthology for UFOlogy is what it really says. But when I post it here, it says you became a YouTube member. Not true. You became a member of GoofOn's Truthology for UFOlogy. Darn it. Why do you do that, StreamYard? Switch it up, will ya? Fix this. Thank you, Joshua Morphew. And a mucho gusto, Generoso. All right, let's, I still have more work to do here. Let's, yeah, now I really like that story from British Columbia, only because it sounded like these UFOs were having a battle. And there were witnesses who saw it from 360 degrees all around in that area that night. Hey! Come on, camera. This camera's supposed to work on eyeballs, it said. I don't think it's going to work on these eyeballs. Come on, camera. Come on. Oh, look at that. I burnt my thumb. Look at that. I burnt my thumb. I didn't even know. Oh, it's hard. I didn't even know I burnt it. Well, when you're lighting your thing, right? Look at that. I didn't even know it. The wind probably blew it right into me. And I didn't even know it burnt me. I can't feel it. I mean, I can feel it, but when it happened, I didn't feel it. And now it's hard. I think I could probably pick that out. That's just like a blood blister or something. I don't know. It's so weird. Oh, God, I'm getting old. All right, All right, 55, it's not old. Because if I wasn't sick, those days before I got sick, I mean, let's just say I was probably in the best shape I've been in 15 years. All right. And get back to work. I hate when I talk about me. Oh, I meant to talk about this UFO sighting. The Kaikoura lights. Check this out. There's a Curiosity vault. Somebody sent this to me a while ago. I don't remember who. It may have been UFO Geek, the guy who's in the chat tonight, Goof on UFO, whatever his name is. I think he sent it to me. I'm not sure. But caught on camera and radar were the Kaikoura lights. I don't know. Let's check this out. It's really interesting.
East coast of New Zealand's South Island. Still considered some of the best and most credible footage ever captured of an unidentified flying object, the film taken by a national network news team from the cockpit window
I
of an
remember
Argosy
this
cargo plane made headlines all around the world. What made the sightings even more bizarre was that they were captured on air traffic control radar too. This is the story of the Kaikoura Lights incident.
Right. What a great sighting. I remember this one. Sadly,
this week I thought I'd do something a little...
Sadly, though, because there's some video evidence that's with this, it looks cooler than it really is. All right, it's an anomaly that shows up when you're out of focus, and it looks like these lights are all swirling around. Well, you'll see. I'm not sure if what they caught was a UFO, but the radar and everything else says it was, the visuals and everything else. So I don't know how much of this I can play, so I'm just going to play bits and pieces. Here we go.
Different. I would say I'm neither a believer in UFO sightings nor a disbeliever. I don't have any opinion on them. All I know is that I haven't seen one myself. However, the story of the Kaikoura Lights as it's known, I did find quite interesting, and it's certainly something you hear a lot about growing up in New Zealand. And believe it or not, the story starts where I grew up in Blenheim. So I thought I'd share the story. In the late hours of December 20th, 1978, Warrant Officer Ian Uffindale of the Royal New Zealand Air Force was completing his final security checks before signing off at Woodburn Air Force Base near Blenheim.
By the way, Woodburn Air Force Base, isn't that the name of it? Very, very famous place for UFO sightings, just in case you were wondering. Many, many accounts of UFO reports coming right from this area itself. So the fact that it happened in this location is kind of cool.
Catching his eye out east toward the coast was what he initially thought to be landing lights of an aircraft coming in to land. This struck him as odd. At 11:30 p.m. at night, there should have been no aircraft in the area, and if there was, he would have known about it. Uffindale contacted the local air traffic controller. Unaware of aircraft in the vicinity, he was equally bewildered, but suggested to Uffindale it could be the landing lights of an aeroplane approaching Wellington around 80 miles or 130 kilometers to the north.
Jesus.
Although this seemed like a likely explanation, upon contacting the New Zealand Central Air Traffic Control Tower in Wellington,
seeing plane lights at 80 miles away? I don't know. It seems a little bit too convenient.
Radar operator John Cordy advised them there was no aircraft in the vicinity, but astonishingly, he reported he had unidentified blips showing on his air traffic control radar.
They would describe a light that they could see that would be moving north over the hills beyond Blenheim, and we would see coincidentally a target on our radar that was also moving north at the same time, and made us think that perhaps these things were related to each other.
Meanwhile, at Blenheim, just a few miles east of Woodburn Air Force Base, police were being inundated with calls from locals reporting strange lights in the night sky.
You know what's really cool about this? I was 10 years old when this happened. I remember seeing some of these clips that we're seeing here of, that interview with that guy, and we're about to see the pilot and some of the things. All right, check this out.
Out east towards the coast. As baffling as the mystery was, it would only get more strange from here on out. At around 2:30 a.m, an Armstrong Whitworth Argosy freighter was en route from Wellington to Christchurch on a routine newspaper delivery run. Captain Vern Powell and First Officer Ian Perry had been informed by Air Traffic Control in Wellington of the unusual lights and the radar anomalies in the vicinity earlier. While the initial stages of the flight were uneventful, at around 3 a.m.
Here we go.
Like the earlier incident a few hours before, the objects appeared on air traffic control radar.
Something's happening. Something's happening to... I don't know. Hold on, let me check something. I think we're off. I think we went offline. I don't know. I'm checking now. No, we're still here. Still here. All right, I'm going to put this into the show description with the other videos so you guys can watch the rest of it. I just thought it was an interesting case. Here's this is the famous video. Let's take a look at this.
Piqued by the fact that not only radar, but a credible and reliable source had shot the footage. Even to this day, many consider the footage and the events of that night to be one of the best and hardest to explain unidentified flying object sightings ever.
It's
the Royal
real.
New Zealand Air Force and the New Zealand Police.
Just so everybody knows, that's a real UFO right there.
Were tasked with investigating the event.
You're seeing a real
Ministry
UFO.
of Defense returned with a public report.
It's not a drone. We know that because it's in the 70s. We know it's not a balloon, although it has balloon qualities. Why is it all lit up? And nobody said there were any balloons in the area. And by the way, balloons back then weren't as numerous as they are today. So this thing was very high in the sky, and they got it on video, and you won't see a more realistic UFO than this.
Or another natural
This
but
is real.
unusual phenomenon like Venus, atmospheric conditions, a meteor, or even lights from cars or trains. Royal New Zealand Air Force Warrant Officer
It's
Ian
amazing.
Uckendale,
I know.
the report simply put it down to faults with the radar itself, or bizarrely, moonlight reflecting off a cabbage field.
Certainly wasn't a squid bird. I never seen one on 13,000 feet up in the air. Those things.
Declassified military documents from
Here it is.
1978, released under the Official Informations Act in 2010, stated that the sightings were unique because of a large amount of documented evidence, which included countless eyewitnesses, 2 tape recordings, and the detection of unusual ground and aircraft radar.
It's a really good sighting. So I'll put the link to that in the show description. Come on, there we go. That's it for tonight. I want to thank everybody for hanging out here at GoofOn. It seemed like we were going in and out tonight, according to some people, and hope everything worked out on your end. So we'll be back tomorrow night, 7 p.m. And we'll go from there. You know, we do what we do here, and that is Truthology. Truthology for UFOlogy. All right? All right. We'll be back tomorrow night. Alien bless. Wait. All right. Thank you, moderators. Thank you, super chatters. I did forget. I'm sorry. Thank you very much for your time and the energy and your support. Appreciate it. And newcomers and veterans. Yeah, thank you very much for hanging out and giving the show a chance. I definitely appreciate it. And I know those who are here appreciate everybody treating each other with respect and love. Because we are, we are truth or free? No, wait, we are, what are we? Where is it? What are we? Oh, here we are. This one, the home of Truthology. Goof on. Hater-free ufology. Isn't that nice? All right. Thank you, everybody. Now, all right. Alien bless.
Unidentified flying object.